The F7C Hornet is a customizable medium fighter platform made by Anvil Aerospace and one of the original Star Citizen fighters. 6 variants of the Hornets are currently available, of which the Ghost is the stealth one. Hi, I'm Joro5. In this video I will tell you what I like and what I don't like about the Hornet Ghost. This will not be just a cold, super detailed technical analysis, but a subjective, honest and informed opinion. So, let's begin. If you are in a hurry, this is my opinion in brief. What I like about the Ghost is it is highly customizable. It has something of an X-Wing feel to it. It is durable and compact. It's the most agile variant of the Hornet. It has decent handling in atmosphere. The stealth nature makes it easier to dodge missiles, even those from stealth bombers. It is good enough to farm NPC bounties. It has a good weapon placement. And finally, it is the cheapest fighter in both the medium and stealth classes. What I don't like about the Ghost is there's an annoying visual glitch on the canopy. It has small capacitors, the cockpit is too dark, bugs with hardpoints not allowing some configurations. It lacks a cannon in the default configuration, and there is no real gameplay for medium and stealth fighters today. My rating for the Hornet Ghost is 6 out of 10. It is good, but ruined by bugs and only really useful for NPC bounties. Keep watching for more details. You can use the chapters to easily navigate through the video. Don't forget to like and possibly subscribe. I really appreciate it. Now let's go in depth about the things I like of the Hornet Ghost. Highly customizable. One thing is certain for any variant of the Hornet, you will spend a lot of time in the PS calculator exploring all the possibilities. The Hornet has 4 weapon hardpoints. The ones on the wings are just regular size 3 hardpoints, but the other 2 are very interesting. The first is on the nose. The PS calculator reports that this is a size 2 hardpoint, while any size 3 weapon can be mounted on. Oddly enough, you cannot install a size 3 gimbal mount on the nose. Instead, you can mount the Hornet nose mount, which allows to install 2 size 1 gimbal weapons. It is a nice addition, but it is rather fragile and will end up destroyed very often. The last hardpoint is the most interesting, partly because the entire Hornet series was built around it. After all, the Hornet was born when modularity was a big deal. It is a size 5 hardpoint on which only Hornet-specific modules can be installed, of which there are currently 5. The Ghost is equipped by default with a Ghost Center Cap, which should help to go undetected by radar, but the most interesting modules are the Bull Turret and the Varipack size 5. The first one is a gimbal mount that allows 2 size 2 weapons to be installed. The second one allows 1 size 4 weapon to be installed, which should be fully gimbaled, but a bug prevents the auto gimbal mode from working on it. This means you can configure the Hornet with all fixed weapons having 3 size 3 and 1 size 4 weapon, or fully gimbaled with 4 size 2 and 2 size 1 weapons, which is very cool. A true X-Wing feeling. Although many players point to the Scorpius as the equivalent of the X-Wing in Star Citizen, only because of the X-shaped wings, having played all the Star Wars simulators, I found the Hornet to be the true equivalent of Luke's favorite starfighter. First, the X-Wing and the Hornet share the same fighter class, medium, while the Scorpius is a heavy fighter, more like the B-Wing. The X-Wing and the Hornet also share the same aesthetic style, mainly because of the squared-off nose and canopy similarly shaped. The cockpit is also very similar, they have the same size and even the handling is pretty much the same. In fact, every time I jump into my Ghost, I feel like I have an Astro droid behind me. Durable and compact. All the single-seated variants of the Hornet share a compact and durable frame. Even without shields, the Hornet can take a fair amount of damage. The body and nose have 4000 HP for a total of 22,000 HP. But the numbers do not give an idea of the real endurance of the Hornet, which is able to fight steadily even when severely damaged, and the cross-section of the Hornet is rather compact, making it a target less easy to hit. The Ghost is the most agile variant of the Hornet. The basic variant of the Hornet pushes 4.83G forward, while the Ghost pushes 4.86 G forward. Sure, this is not much of an improvement, but in addition to the stealth bonuses, the Ghost is also the most agile variant of the Hornet. The stealth nature of the Ghost makes easier to dodge missiles. We all hate stealth bombers, right? They crawl unnoticed near your position to fire at you those nasty large missiles that are almost impossible to dodge. One of the advantages of being a stealth fighter is that you have a better chance of surviving, because you appear later on the radar, and it's harder for missiles to keep their lock since the lower signature makes countermeasures much more effective. The disappointment is that this advantage is not really useful when it comes to protect your teammates from stealth bomber attacks. The Hornet Ghost is pretty good for farming NPC bounties. Okay, bounties are not the most efficient way to make money in Star Citizen, but for me they are one of the most fun. In this regard, the Ghost is good enough to farm bounties with minimal cost. If you have good piloting skills, you can complete 2 group ERT bounties every hour, gaining about 170k per hour. This means that it is possible to purchase a retilator in-game after 24 hours of farming, or even better, a prospector in just 12 hours. But I suggest avoiding ERT bounties with the Ghost. Yes, they are doable, but it will take about 10 minutes just to defeat the Hammerhead. VHRT group bounties are Ghost's sweet point. By focusing only on targets, it is possible to complete 2 to 4 contracts per hour. Completing 3 contracts, you'll get 190,000. It should be noted that similar results can be achieved with just an arrow, which costs much less. The only advantage of using a Ghost against NPC instead of a light fighter is that you have greater firepower and damage resistance. But if you are a good pilot, you can opt for cheaper alternatives. Weapons placement. On the Hornet, the weapon hardpoints are placed in a good position, covering a large but compact area that makes it easier to score hits.
Target destroyed.
The Ghost is a cheap and medium and stealth fighter. At the cost of about 150 euros, the Ghost is both the cheapest medium and stealth fighter in the game. If you want to buy it in-game, it will cost 1,600,000 USD, quite cheap compared to the 2 millions required for a Saber, or the 1,400,000 for the basic F7C variant. Decent handling in the atmosphere. The Ghost will not win any awards for atmospheric handling, but it's quite decent if you keep the speed in the SCM limit, which is not very high at 192 ms, but it's not terrible either. And now, let's dig in depth what I don't like about the Ghost. Every Hornet has visual glitches in the cockpit. Every variant of the Hornet suffers from a visual defect that appears when the canopy is closed. This problem is most noticeable in the single-seat variants, such as the Ghost. Okay, it's not a serious problem, but it is an annoyance that breaks the immersion. Small capacitors. In my opinion, this is a problem for all medium-class fighters, since they all have 5500 capacitors. Except for the Sight and the Glade, which have a 10,000 capacitor, but it is not possible to change their weapons. Capacitors are shared by all installed energy guns, so having more energy guns means having fewer shots per gun. Light fighters have 4500 capacitors and fewer weapons. Medium fighters have more weapons, and consequently available shots are usually fewer. I understand the reasoning behind this choice, more damage in the same amount of time, but I firmly believe that medium class fighter should have 20% larger capacitor to have a slightly higher damage output. The Ghost cockpit is too dark. Maybe it's just me, but I think that Ghost cockpit is way too dark. Without any external light source, the cockpit is pitch dark. I know, it's a stealth fighter, but the pilot should at least see the controls. Bugs with the hardpoints not allow some configurations. The hardpoint on the nose and the center cap have annoying bugs. The nose is reported as size 2, and yet you can mount any size 3 weapon, but not any varipack. Why? The only way to have gimbal on the nose is to mount a Hornet turret, but it is too fragile. The varipack size 5 for the center cap is defective. It is supposed to be gimbaled, but it works only manually and not in automatic mode. All these problems prevent to have the best gimbal configuration for the Hornet. One with 5 size 2 weapon and another one with 3 size 2 weapons and 1 size 4 weapon. It is really such a waste. The default configuration is missing a cannon. Out of the box, the Ghost features decent stealth components. The power plant is the best in the stealth line, enough to power 3 laser cannons. But the Ghost default configuration has only 2 cannons. Why? The addition of the 3rd cannon will make more sense. Today, there is no real gameplay for both medium and stealth fighters. Using a stealth fighter with the right configuration, it is possible to go undetected beyond 5 kilometers. Or even 2 with proper components and careful energy management. But now only stealth bombers have reason to do so. Currently all stealth fighters such as the Ghost and the Saber lack the ability to inflict significant damage for hit and run tactics. And for all these reasons, my final rating for the Hornet Ghost is 6 out of 10. Personally, I love the Hornet Ghost. It's the very first fighter I bought, and to this day it is still a fighter I like to use, even in PvP. It breaks my heart to admit that there is no reason to buy it today. As for any other fighter that is in the medium or stealth classes, it is only useful for NPC bounties, which is not even the most efficient way to make money in the game. Besides, there are better fighters for doing PvP and NPC bounties. That said, I think the Hornet family is still the most interesting medium fighter concept because of its modularity, with the Ghost being the best in the series. If you are in the mood for some X-Wing vibes, get one, you will have a lot of fun using it. In the next episode, the constellation Andromeda. Can you predict what I like and what I don't like? See you next time in the verse.